you want to see the presentation of me?
Police running all in and out the building. What the hell is going on? Hey, we about to talk about these quarterbacks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get the quarterback on the floor.
What up, love?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm over here grooving to my own song. Shout out to everybody. The Raider Nation. That's right. The Raider Nation is in the building. The lights is turning off because we shutting things down around here. But anyway, we going to keep it moving and grooving. I got to give y'all the Raider Twuan brown cracker salute. And while I do that, let me go ahead and let me tell y'all right now. Hey, shout out. Let me give another Raider Twuan brown cracker salute to the congregation. And if you're not a part of the congregation and you like the Raiders, quit playing with yourself. Go ahead and subscribe. Okay. Let me clean some things up in this house, okay? And I'll get right back to you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. And go ahead and hit that like button. Why? Because I like you. And you know what? I think I got one of my homies to tell you that.
Fucking Stizan.
Twuan, hey Twuan, hit that like button. Why? Because I like you.
That's right. Go ahead and hit that like button, smash subscribe, and join the congregation. Also, let me say this now. Let me put this out here. We are advocates here at Raider Twuan for being an organ donor. If you're interested in being an organ donor and you're watching this live, all you have to do is go in the comment section, !DON will give you the link on how to be an organ donor, Or if you're watching this on replay, it's always in the link in the description of all my videos and lives. Also, if you need prayer for you or your family members, hit me up on IG at Twuan. Or if you are live, !PRAY. And I know one of my mods is getting that in there for you guys. So definitely hit me up on there. But hey, not to prolong it even longer, again, shout out to everybody in the chat. We gonna move and groove, but we gotta break down this quarterback room. You know what I'm saying? I've been on so many lives with other people and been watching other lives, and you know we got to talk about this room. And there's some people. I put out a post on my other social media uh, in regards to what we're about the quarterbacks, and some people didn't even know we had four quarterbacks in our room. Um, just because of maybe the two guys that are the mainstays or whatever you want to say are are polarizing or whatever the situation may be. But there's four quarterbacks actually in this room, and I think in reality, I think our quarterback room. Um, Most NFL teams, I'll say it like this: that most NFL teams, they will carry at least four quarterbacks. Especially now with the new rule of recent, that you have an emergency quarterback and that doesn't you know affect you number wise, right? Um, so you have your emergency quarterback is actually your third quarterback. So you have your starting quarterback, your backup quarterback, then you have your um, third quarterback, who's usually your emergency quarterback, and in most cases, what I've seen of trend, what I've seen is that they will literally um, have one on practice squad, which would be the fourth quarterback. The information that you see screaming across the bottom is also how you can be um, a contributor to the Raider Twuan channel. Feel free to do that, but it's not obligated. But quarterbacks. We have four quarterbacks, and I am here to break down my Raider gospel in regards to um, these quarterbacks. I'm gonna go in alphabetical order. Um, then I'll let you guys know um, my thoughts on who I would like for us to look at um, for those spots, including, yes, the starting quarterback. Make sure you hit the like button if you guys have not. And if you like the Raiders, go ahead and subscribe. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Before we get into this, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. I want to give y'all the Raider roll call. And I'm just going to scroll up to the top and give y'all a quick shout out. Rob Pena is always in the building. Shout out to Rob Pena. SoCal Sal, good to see you. Snoops is in the building. Dark, good to see you, my brother. Blessings to everybody in the chat. Nightbot is doing its thing, telling y'all to subscribe. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. JD Raider, good to see you. Blessings to you on the day. We will be talking about the quarterbacks. And again, I'm going to be giving my Raider gospel, but I want you guys to let me know, how you feeling about these guys as I'm going along. And let's get into it. Let's get into it. As you guys tell, I'm tapping, you know what I'm saying, and getting it going for y'all. Um, say a prayer for my laptop. My laptop is definitely going to have to be put in laptop hospital. um, so first quarterback we will talk about in again alphabetical order is Carter Bradley. Okay. Um, Looking at Carter Bradley is actually our UDFA that we just recently picked up. He is the UDFA that we'll be um, having on the roster, and he is actually currently at camp, OTAs and all that stuff, whatever they're doing right now. Obviously, they're in OTAs, but um, he's in OTAs right now. Um, what I've seen from him at OTAs, just before I go into my notes, um, he looks like he's hanging with the rest of the guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's the initiated starter. He's outshining everybody. Um, but he seems like he's where he needs to be. He's working out. He's doing what he needs to do. He needs to get done. Um, what Carter Bradley actually um, sticks out is what he did in the Senior Bowl. He was actually one of the guys, one of the names that actually really, you know, shined during the Senior Bowl. Um, and I think that's um, it seems like, and maybe you guys can help me here. It just seems like a lot of the guys um, that maybe we might have like I'm not sure about those guys were guys that actually shined in the Senior Bowl. For an example, our third round pick, right? People were questioning about DJ Glaze or Gelmar Glaze, however you want to call him. One of the things that came out on DJ Glaze is that he was a shiner in the Senior Bowl. So there was something in the Senior Bowl that obviously these scouts and pro staff were um, were looking at, and obviously Carter Bradley was one of those guys. And what I saw with Carter Bradley is, first of all, that he's a fairly accurate quarterback. He throws the ball and he throws it accurately, and that's one of the things that definitely you want in your quarterback, right? And I'll say this too in regards to the quarterbacks, just the overall quarterback situation. I think some of the things that we fail to forget in regards to what we want out of a quarterback is if he can pass the ball. It's not, and some people may not like me, but it's not if the quarterback can run. Why? Because we got a running back. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a certain thing specifically. Yes, it's nice to have a quarterback that can run, right? That's always a good situation to have in your tool belt. But you can't solely rely. Excuse me. Um, you can't solely rely on a quarterback just to run. That ain't gonna help you. Your quarterback. What is a quarterback's main job? Pass the ball. And how well can you pass the ball is definitely always going to be a question mark, right? So Carter Bradley, coming out of college, right? And this is college. He's going to be going into the NFL. It's a whole different step. It's a whole nother level. Like they say all the time, there's progressions to this, right? Um, Carter Bradley he's fairly been accurate in um in the college realms, right? He gives wide receivers chances for yards after the catch. Okay. And you'll see that in his highlights, you'll see that in his tape, you'll see that in his plays where he's throwing to wide receivers. And there's always a situation where, and we'll talk about it because we're going to be breaking down all these quarterbacks, right? There's always a situation where quarterbacks will throw it right to the quarterbacks will throw it right to the wide receiver, and they just catch it, and then there's really no room for getting extra yards after they catch the ball. War versus a quarterback that throws the ball, and I say it as lead a wide receiver or lead a um a pass catcher to gain more yards. Like if If I catch it right here, right, I might only just get the yards that where I caught it, right? But if you throw it to this side, because the open field is on this side, that leads me into yards after the catch, right? It's still an accurate pass, but now you're leading me to greener pastures, right? And that's another thing that I saw out of Carter Bradley in the college realms. He has pocket mobility, and as we talk about it even further, there's a difference between pocket mobility and someone that can get out of the pocket. Okay, pocket mobility can be like a Tom Brady. Okay, we know Tom Brady is identified as a statue, but he knows how to slide in the pocket to give him time to be able to get the ball down the field or slide to the open area within the protection of his O line to get to passing to where he needs to go. So that's the pocket mobility. Okay, so if you hear me say pocket mobility, that's sliding in the pocket. Okay, Patrick Mahomes, whoever you I how whoever however you want to classify Patrick Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes is more of a pocket mobility guy. He moves within the pocket. Of course, he slides out of the pocket every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? And we see that. But he will slide. He's really good at sliding within protection of his pocket and then be able to throw it down the field. So that's pocket mobility. Now, a person that can get out of the pocket is a person like a Lamar Jackson. Okay, so just try to classify, you know, types of another guy, a guy back in the day, Mike Vick. Mike Vick, he could get out the pocket, right? Um, but you have those guys that they may not necessarily they might have both. They may be able to get out of the pocket, but then there's also guys that um, have that just stay in the pocket, use their protection, and move forward. I know I'm talking long about Carter Bradley, but I'm putting everything together for the other quarterbacks that I'll be addressing, because you'll see that some of these quarterbacks have certain things and the certain quarterbacks just don't have it. Okay. And that's why we're breaking all this down. So definitely Carter Bradley has that pocket mobility. Okay. So he's moving around in the pocket. He's allowing time within the pocket to deliver those passes. Okay. One thing Carter Bradley needs to improve on is that he needs to improve on his deep ball. Okay. He needs to improve on his deep ball. And that was on the collegiate level. So definitely, that's something definitely he's going to have to work on the college level. Also, with Carter Bradley lacks NFL arm strength. Okay, and that goes with, like I said, with the deep ball. Sometimes when they're lacking in the deep ball, obviously that's an indicator that the arm strength may not be there. There's some other factors that may be involved, and you'll see that when I talk about another quarterback in our room, and I'm talking about all of our quarterbacks within our Raiders locker room. Okay. So what I get from Carter Bradley is that he is a serviceable quarterback. Okay. He has starter potential. Okay. So even with him lacking NFL arm strength and can improve on his deep ball, he still has starter potential. Even though we he was an undrafted free agent for us, and we got him, what I'm saying, in the undrafted realm. I think that with Carter Bradley, um, with him being able to sit and learn, he has the potential of. I think his ceiling can possibly his ceiling can be a starter for um, for us, since he is right now wearing our colors. I'm not saying that he's a starter right now. Hear me out now. He's not a starter right now, but I believe that with Carter Bradley, if he sits, he learns, you know what I'm saying? Maybe in a year or two, he might be competing for um, that solidified backup position, or potentially we might say, hey, Carter Bradley possibly could be a starter if we're still trying to figure out who is our starter. Hopefully we identify our starter. Hopefully our starter is already here. I'll say that. But Carter Bradley is definitely a guy to be looking for in the preseason. Shout out to everybody in the shout out. I see you guys moving and growing and flowing. Shout out to Pyro, DSR in the building, Ozzy. Blessings to everybody. George C, good to see you. Good to see you. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe if you like the Raiders and obviously are enjoying the content, right? Um, the next guy that I'll be talking about as I break this down for you guys is Anthony Brown Jr. Okay. Anthony Brown Jr. Is a guy that we kind of to be honest with you, I think he just to my opinion, I think he kind of sneaks me underneath the surface for the fact that in which we got him. We got him really early. We got him, I believe it was before the draft. Yeah, it was before the draft. And he's been on the team, just waiting for the off season, to be honest with you. And my personal thoughts on Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown has played as a starter for the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, you guys know Lamar Jackson, but there was a time when Lamar Jackson was out, and Anthony Brown was that starter for the Ravens. So he actually has some starter under his belt, and we'll see what he does in preseason. Definitely, our coach has identified that it will be a competition. So definitely, Anthony Brown is a dark horse for us in regards to the Raiders. Excited to watch him and see him for the facts that he has pocket mobility. Okay, he has that pocket mobility. But also, like I said earlier, he can get out of the pocket, so he can take off. You know what I'm saying? If that O line is breaking down and the wide receivers ain't getting open in time, this is going to be a quarterback that will take off and get what he can. He is. I'm not, and hear me when I say this, but I'm not saying I'm not either, and I'm not saying this. Don't take this completely seriously, but Anthony Brown has that Lamar Jackson style of play. Okay, he can deliver the ball, but he also can get out the pocket. He's not that shaky loose. Don't expect Lamar Jackson completely out of um out of Anthony Brown, but you'll see every once in a while if the pocket breaks down, you'll see Anthony Brown shoot out of the pocket and get what he can. He does have the NFL arm strength. Okay, so you just trying to build, who Anthony Brown is. Anthony Brown is he has pocket mobility. He can slide in the pocket, but he can also get out the pocket, and he also has the arm strength, the deep ball arm strength. He has that. He needs to improve. Okay. One thing that he needs to improve on is his accuracy. Okay. So he has the arm strength, he has the legs, but the accuracy that needs the improvement. Now, the accuracy can come from just basic how you deliver the ball, but it also can be a situation where he may not be able to read coverages clearly. So that's something that we're just going to have to continue to have to watch in regards to um, his quarterback play. Okay. One thing that I saw at Anthony Brown um, that is a positive, um, but also can be a negative, right? Just depends on how you view it, right? Um, Anthony Brown likes to get out the ball quick. Okay. And whether you view that as a good thing or a bad thing, um, that's definitely up to you, based on even on this offense, right? Um, are we gonna really rely on deep passes? Are we gonna rely on short passes? Are we getting the ball out quick and allowing our wide receivers and our tight ends and our running backs to get yards after the catch? Those are all the facets that we need to think about. Also, specifically in regards to Getsy and his offense, right? What is going to ultimately benefit us? Is Anthony Brown definitely the guy that is going to fit this offense? So those are all questions that we need to ask. Those are all questions that we need to look at. All the things that we need to um, specifically digest in regards to um, Anthony Brown and our quarterback play, right? Because overall, and I know I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts after I talk about all of our quarterbacks, but just kind of get into that a little bit. All of our quarterbacks have something different, right? And is that going to ultimately fit what we're trying to do in regards to the Getsy offense? So Anthony Brown, just looking at his tape, it seems like he likes to get the ball out quick. Um, making the quick decision, making the quick move. He's not really sitting in the pocket too long. Um, you know, he likes to get out the ball quick. So, you can take that how you want that. Um, but one also the last thing in regards to Anthony Brown that I also saw as an indicator for me before we take a quick break um, is that he's very calm in the pocket. He's very calm in the pocket. Um, and that's a good thing. I know a lot of people were down on certain quarterbacks because they have what they call happy feet, um, which is something that a lot of quarterbacks tend to have. But Anthony Brown, based on the videos and lives that not videos and lives, but videos, highlights, and everything that I saw digging up from Anthony Brown, it seems like he's very poised in the pocket, which is definitely a positive. We are at a halfway point. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And if you like the Raiders, quit playing with yourself. Go ahead and subscribe. Just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, we are on our way to 500 subscribers by week 1. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. All subscribers will have a chance, if we reach that goal, to win a pair of Black Air Forces. Okay, so let's get those subscribers up by week 1, so you can get a chance to win a pair of Black Air Forces. And all you got to do is do what's for free, and that is subscribe. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Yes, sir. All right, so we're gonna get into Alfredo. Good to see you. Steve DeLuna, blessings to you. Hope all is well. Lakers in 5. Lakers in 5. If you guys are Laker fans, go ahead and subscribe to Lakers in 5. Great channel to be a part of. And that is on YouTube. So Lakers in 5 on YouTube. All right. We talked about Anthony Brown. We talked about Carter Bradley. Now, okay, I'm over. I got my handy dandy, handy dandy notebook just for y'all, breaking down the Raiders quarterbacks. Let's go into our next quarterback, and this quarterback, before I show you the name, this quarterback is the quarterback that has the most experience. So you'll hear me talk a little more in regards to him versus the other quarterbacks. And it's because there's a lot of information to break down. I kind of broke it down more to what has been the current stuff. But he has a lot of experience in the NFL. And that is, and those that know, but I'm going to give you guys who that is. And that is Gardner Minshew. Okay. Gardner Minshew is a quarterback that has been in the NFL for probably the longest out of this room. You know what I'm saying? The only person that might have a little more, not a little more experience, but the next person right under him would be Anthony Brown. And, obviously, as we go along, you'll see who's next, right? So Gardner Minshew is is the guy that we'll be talking about in discussion. And Gardner Minshew has pocket mobility, can get out of the pocket. Okay, so he has, like I said, he has the shiftiness inside the pocket to slide, and shift to get to his targets, but he also will run. Okay, and with his other teams, there was also opportunities where they designed like a delay QB run. Okay, specifically for Gardner Minshew. With that being said, he can run on the pass as well. So he has the mobility. He has the pocket presence to slide and do all of that. But he also can throw on the run. Okay. Now you'll see me break this down even further. Another thing that Gardner Minshew has is that he plays with grit. Okay, he just has that grittiness all over his game. If you ever watch him in, um, in highlights, or if you ever watched him, even if when you and he played against us um, last year, and even last year playing against us, there was a grit with Gardner Minshew. Okay, um, he's a very exciting, electric of type of quarterback. Um, Obviously, you're going to see a lot of highlights on him if you um, watch him, and that's because he's gutsy. Okay, he's a gutsy, gritty type of quarterback, and him being gutsy, I'll say this: that word gutsy also can be, as I'm grabbing some more brown crackers, because I love me some brown crackers. Um, Gutsy can be a positive, but gutsy can also be a negative. Okay. You can be gutsy and make the right play and the wow play and the top 10 ESPN whatever highlight, but gutsy can also be a negative, right? Gutsy can be a situation where you're, to my next point, put the ball in harm's way because you're being gutsy. Um, and that's what you're going to get with Gardner Minshew. Um, and also with Gardner Minshew, he can be inaccurate at times. Okay. So you have a guy he can be mobile, he has the legs, he can do all that good stuff that a lot of people love, and it's a good thing. But also, with that being said, that grit, gutsy, and being a little inaccurate can also lead to um, ball security, right? Turning the ball over in opportune times, right? Um, what I noticed in regards to Gardner Minshew, in regards to the film and tape, he seems to be more of a spot thrower. Okay, and what that means is he'll throw to a specific target. He'll throw to a specific spot. If the wide receiver is right here, he's going to throw it. He's going to try to throw it right here. Okay, um, which does not lead his wide receivers to opportunities for yards after the catch. Okay. So if he's hitting them right here, it's a catch hit. He's not leading them to greener pastures or um, leading them to those open field situations. And that's definitely a thing to look at in regards to Gardner Minshew. Okay. He also lacks he also lacks the deep ball. Okay. He lacks the deep ball. He lacks the deep ball. Okay. And I think that's due to his arm strength. I think that's due to his arm strength, especially on the run. So you'll see Gardner Minshew when he's on the run, his arm strength actually decreases. And yes, he can deliver the ball. I'm not going to say he can't deliver the ball on the run, but if in regards to throwing it deep on the run, he's not able to do that. And I think that's because of the lack of his arm strength. Okay. So, with that being said, he does not have the complete NFL arm strength, right? The full arm package. I'll say it like that. And what I've noticed from Gardner Minshew is when he does throw the ball to his wide receivers and his when I say wide receivers, I'm talking about anybody that's going to catch the ball from the quarterback. What I noticed from Gardner Minshew is that his wide receivers have to wait for the ball. So they're running their route and they see the ball's coming, but they got to wait for it and then go. Okay. So he's not hitting his players in stride, which again is not leading them for yards of the catch. It's not leading them for. And with that being said, you're also allowing the defense to get to whoever that target is, right? If the ball's going to that area and now that wide receiver has to wait for it and restart his speed again, that allows for defenders to recover, right? And that's what you're going to get a lot with Gardner Minshew. Now, that situation of Gardner Minshew not hitting his wide receivers in stride, that could be the lack of arm strength. It could be a few things. It could be a lack of arm strength. It could be the unfamiliarity with his targets, you know. And also, it could be just basic inaccuracy. Okay. Because as a quarterback, your job is to obviously get it to your target. But if you can get them, if you throw it to this side and that leads them to greener pastures, your job is to lead them with the pass to that direction. Now, in regards to the deep ball or some of your deeper passes, if I can throw it over your head to lead you with the defender behind me, that allows me to still be able to speed past that guy. But if I have to wait for it, then now I'm caught right where the ball lands. Okay. So that's what I noticed with Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew ultimately can be a starter in the NFL, has been a starter in the NFL, has the experience as a starter. I'm not saying he's a horrible quarterback, but these are the things that I'm seeing at a Gardner Minshew. And ultimately those that might be feeling a different way in regards to Gardner Minshew, because I know that a lot of people are fans of Gardner Minshew. Can he win games? Absolutely. I think he can win games, but some of these trends, some of these things are just what you're going to get out of Gardner Minshew. But can that work in this offense? Can that be something that actually fits with what we're doing here with the Raiders? I think it can. And like I said, if Gardner Minshew goes out there, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad because I think Gardner Minshew has talent. I think Gardner Minshew, like I said, ultimately can get the job done for us. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. and join the congregation. Okay. As we go to our last and final quarterback, and I will be looking at your guys' comments and let me know what you guys think within the chat um, on quarterbacks. Um, our next quarterback and our final quarterback is Aidan O'Connell. Let me give you our Raider Twuan Brown Cracker salute. Okay, so Aidan O'Connell. Now, Aidan O'Connell is a traditional pocket passer. Okay. And as we break this down, I'll tell you even more uh, as to why I consider him a traditional pocket passer. Okay. Aidan O'Connell has the NFL arm strength. Okay. He can throw all the passes, deep ball, immediate, and short. Okay. So we don't have to worry about his arm strength. Arm strength is there for Aidan O'Connell. Okay. Okay. Throws the ball that leads to yards after the catch. Okay. He'll throw it, like I said, he can throw it right at you, but also he can lead you to greener pastures. Okay. With his passing. Okay. He's a fairly accurate passer. Okay. He that's one thing with Aidan O'Connell. He throws the ball and he throws the ball with accuracy. I'm not saying he's an extremely accurate quarterback, but he's fairly an accurate quarterback, and that's what you kind of want ultimately out of the quarterback position, right? He throws the ball with touch, and when asked to be a game manager, not a game changer, but to be a game manager, Aidan O'Connell can do that. Okay. He takes care of the ball. Okay, you don't have to rely. You don't have to worry about ball security. Um, not too much. I know that Aidan O'Connell also has had situations where he's fumbled, um, you know, and also obviously all quarterbacks throw interceptions, but he's usually, for the most part, he's pretty safe in regards to ball security. Um, and like I said, he takes care of the ball in most cases. One thing with Aidan O'Connell is that he hasn't shown um, that pocket mobility on the NFL level. Okay, he hasn't shown that mobility on the NFL level. Now, when you go back and watch Aidan O'Connell in college, you'll see tape on Aidan O'Connell being mobile. Okay. And that's where you can kind of be hopeful. I'll say it like that. You can be hopeful that Aidan O'Connell um, can become mobile on the NFL level and not become, like most people say, a statue. Because again, he has not shown that on his tape in regards to us on the NFL level. But when you go back to his college tape, excuse me, um, you'll see that he has a little bit of has shown that in the on the college level. Okay, and out of all the other quarterbacks, all the quarterbacks we talked about, whether it's Carter Bradley, whether it's Anthony Brown, whether it's Gardner Minshew, it's going to be Aidan O'Connell that's really going to rely on our offensive line. Now, all of our quarterbacks, any quarterback is going to rely on our offensive line, but Aidan O'Connell specifically is really going to rely on our offensive line because he is that traditional pocket passer. He's that, and I'm not saying he's exactly these guys, but he's that style. He's that Peyton Manning. He's that Tom Brady. He's that Drew Brees. He's that style of quarterback where he's going to sit in the pocket and try to pick off defenses. Okay, and that's going to rely on that offensive line. Now, can he, like I said, can he be that mobility quarterback? That's still up for interpretation and up for review, right? But for now, mobility is definitely in O'Connell's downfall. Can he pass the ball? Yes. Yeah, he's still young. We still have to see, can he read NFL defenses, and that's still something that we would like to see. And moving forward, so that's Aidan O'Connell. Aidan O'Connell also has been our starter for the past, I believe, 10 games in regards to the Raiders. So we saw him up close and personal. And, some people think that he's our starter. Some people don't. Feel like, hey, we need to move on. My final thoughts in regards to all these quarterbacks is I think there's a flavor and a style that has all of these quarterbacks set up. I think in regards to Getsy's going to have to choose what he wants. You know what I'm saying? Not only in style, but if these guys can get that playbook down, I think that's going to be the key factors of Getsy. I think Getsy's going to first of all say, hey, can these quarterbacks, if all these quarterbacks get the playbook down, what flavor of quarterback do I want? That would be the secondary situation. The first situation would be what quarterback can really manage this playbook. Then second, okay, what style of flavor can we get? Okay, and that's going to be up to Getsy and staff to figure out. But if you ask me, with all the flavors of quarterbacks that we have, I think Carter Bradley is going to be our fourth quarterback. And I think he's going to be our fourth quarterback for this reason. He's the only quarterback that does not have NFL starter experience. So I think that's going to bode well for the other guys as in ranking. And I think that's going to be a factor in regards to Carter Bradley. Now, they can stash him on the practice squad because you can there's a few spots on that practice squad that you can protect if they are really, really in likes of Carter Bradley. But they can also just put him on the practice squad, and if a team picks him off, then they pick him off, right? But I think that's where Carter Bradley's going to be, and I think that's the best thing for Carter Bradley. Like I said, if Carter Bradley can sit for a year or two, I think he can progress and possibly be in competitions for a starter or be that backup for us, for years to come. The third quarterback for me, and I think it's going to be a close battle is going to be between, and I'll just say it like this: it's going to be between Gardner Minshew and Anthony Brown. Those are going to be my 2s and 3. And for sake of record, I think it's going to be Anthony Brown. I think Anthony Brown is going to be our emergency quarterback. He will be that guy in emergency that will come in and has starter under his belt, um, and present what he needs to present in his style and flavor whenever that time comes. Hopefully, knock on wood, that whoever our starting quarterback and our backup quarterback does not go down to where we have to bring in Anthony Brown. But if Anthony Brown does come in, we're just going to have to see how that works. If Getsy's going to have to change the offense just a little bit to make it work and make it play for Anthony Brown, but Anthony Brown is taking that third spot. Okay. Ultimately, I'll say this because I've already given you guys my second guy. I believe Aidan O'Connell should be our starter. I think Aidan O'Connell deserves not just to be the starter in preseason. I think Aidan O'Connell is going to be our starter. Now, do I like Minshew? Absolutely. Do I believe Minshew can win us games? Absolutely. But what I see out of Aidan O'Connell is I see that he can work on his mobility because it is there in college. All the downfall that is there, I think offensive coordinator can pull that out of Aidan O'Connell. But ultimately, what I'm really looking at is his passing ability, that he can throw the ball all over the field. And with our pass catchers, our wide receivers, our tight ends, even our running backs, you're going to need a quarterback that's able to throw the ball all over the field and allow our pass catchers to have that yards after the catch. And you're going to need a quarterback that's going to be accurate, that's going to be able to get the ball to the specific spot and areas that need to be so that we can maximize what we can get on the field. A lot of our guys are pretty much yards after the catch catchers and receivers. So I think Aidan O'Connell is going to work well with that. Now, the question mark with that is, can our offensive line, again, like I said with Aidan O'Connell, he's really going to rely on our offensive line. Is our offensive line going to be able to hold up for Aidan O'Connell to do what he needs to do, process what he needs to process, and deliver the ball to where he needs to deliver the ball? And that's where I think is going to be our question mark in regards to our offense and, again, Aidan O'Connell. I think Aidan O'Connell. There was a joke that a comedian said, and I'll refer it to our team, and that is, there was a heckler, and he said, "You're ugly," you know what I'm saying, and he said, "You're not the ugliest, but you'll do until we find them." You know what I'm saying? And that was kind of the punchline. Like, he was like, "I'm trying to look for the ugliest person, and you'll do until we find them." And am I saying that Aidan O'Connell is the guy for our franchise guy and for years to come? Jury's still out on that. You know what I'm saying? But he will do until we find him. And whether we're drafting a guy, whether we're bringing in a guy off of free agency, or Aidan O'Connell goes out there, balls out, and shows us, hey, I'm that guy. That's going to be ultimately up to him. But he will do until we find him, whether it's him or somebody else. I think Aidan O'Connell deserves that. I think Aidan O'Connell can show us that. And those are my thoughts in regards to Aidan O'Connell. Let me look at what you guys got in the chat. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. Shout out to everybody. I see you guys in here. Steve, blessings to you. See, listen, small steering wheel. Look, hey, I got you, Steve. These are the brown crackers, baby. Snoop said. Snoop says the weapons we have on offense, Getsy is going to make countless plays for our playmakers. Yep, and that's the hope, is that we can get the ball to our guys, make it happen, make it pop, and get it moving. Shout out to Thrash. Good to see you. You guys, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you have not. SoCal Sal, 2 cents. I see you in the building. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'll do this for the sake of discussion. If anybody wants to pull up, let me go ahead and, for a quick second, I'm not going to be on here too long. There we go. There it goes. The link is in the chat. Okay, I'm not going to be on there too long. I know Ozzy was going. He had a lot to say, but I right now I'm on my iPad and can't read all of that. But I want to be here for you guys. So if you guys have any questions or comments, or you guys want to pull up for a quick second and discuss, I'm definitely available for that. Anthony, good to see you. Hope all is well. But yeah, that I think ultimately, I think we're in a good place. I really think we're in a good place in regards to our quarterback situation. I think there's the competition within 1, 2, and 3. And I think we need to put a little more respect on Anthony Brown. But I think the competition between 1, 2, and 3 is real. And I think it's ultimately going to make this team better. I think it's going to make us get ultimately the best out of our quarterback play, out of our team, and I like it, and I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? I am all for it. Coming out of preseason and hey, you talking about Aidan O'Connell looking like Mike Vick? Nah, he ain't gonna come out looking like Mike Vick. But if I think Getsy can also you know, get some moldability out of him because, like I said, when you go back and look at Purdue tape on Aidan O'Connell, he was able to move a little better, a little more than what we've been seeing. Um, and I think that was all play calling, but also um, preference of what we saw out of our old, um, unfortunately, offensive coordinator. Anthony Bruce said, let me tell you something. Anthony Brown's gonna pull upset and win the QB job. Like I said, and you know what I'm saying, you've been listening. I think I think with Aiden O'Connell, I mean not Aiden O'Connell, but Anthony Brown, I think a lot of people are missing out on that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not paying attention to that. And I think Anthony Brown is in there like, hey, you know, let me throw my hat in the ring and let me see what let me see what I could do with this. You know what I'm saying? And uh we'll see. We'll see. You know, ultimately down the road, and I've said it multiple times, but ultimately down the road, what I would like to see out of our quarterback room is that we have um a lot of quarterbacks under cheap labor where we could use that money in other places, right? Let's just say it like this, and I said that I want Aiden O'Connell as a starter. Let's just say I say Aiden O'Connell becomes our starter, right? He's under cheap labor. Then Carter Bradley becomes our backup. He's under cheap labor. You know, maybe next year we draft another quarterback. You know what I'm saying? We might actually F those picks and go get a quarterback. He's under cheap labor. And now you have quarterbacks that are on very cheap contracts, but now are in a situation to where, hey, we can you know, to where we can spend money other places. And ultimately, I think that's what we're trying to build, and ultimately what we're about. I that's what I would like. I'm just gonna say it like that. I'm not gonna say I know everything in regards to the Raiders, but that I think that would be the move for us is to get quarterbacks that are under cheap labor. We can move on from Minshew. We can move on from Anthony Brown. I mean, even though Anthony Brown is still under a cheap contract, that's another thing, and maybe possibly a topic of discussion of what we can do, right? Um, but those are the quarterbacks. Okay. Hey guys, make sure you guys hit that like button if you guys have not, and subscribe. Okay.
Fucking Stizan. Twuan, hey Twuan, hit that like button. Why? Because I like you.
Also, you guys know that we are on the road for 500 subscribers. Okay. By week 1. So definitely put your, you know what I'm saying? Put your lotto ticket in, you know what I'm saying, here at Raider Twuan by subscribing, because a lucky subscriber, if we reach that goal by week 1, will win a pair of black Air Forces. Also, hit me up on IG at Twuan, Twuan, Twuan. If you need prayer for you for your family members or whatever else is going on in your life, I'm concerned about each and every one of you guys. So definitely hit me up on IG. Let me know what I can be in prayer for in your life. Also, in regards to life, be or an organ donor. It means a lot to me here. Also at Raider Twuan, we are advocates for being an organ donor. So please be an organ donor. Stay tuned for my next live. It'll be the 2 for 1 Nation podcast with me and my brother Eric from the Raider at the SC Raiders Talk. We'll be talking Raiders rumors, news, OTAs, all that good stuff. So you do not want to miss that. And that will be here on Thursday. So definitely Thursday afternoon. You do not want to miss the 2 for 1 Nation podcast. Okay. So definitely go ahead and do that. Like I always tell you guys, let me see. James Furbo, good to see you. Good to see you. Blessings to you. Like I tell you guys all the time, definitely hit that like and subscribe. If you like the Raiders, okay, and join the congregation. Also, remember that you're a blessing. Be a blessing to someone else. And let's go, Raiders.
What up, love?
Today is a day when our heroes of the past become our legends of the future. Time never really stops for the great ones. We wrap them in a cloak of immortality and remember what great people they were. We recognize you, Virginia Madden, his sons Mike and Joey. They were a football family, so that John can pursue his dreams. Tonight with Twuan and a tribute to John Madden and Al Jacobs, who declared that the fire that burns the brightest in the Raiders organization is the will to win. Ladies and gentlemen, the Madden family.